Hey everybody, Steve here, and today I'm going to tackle the question as to whether you should train to failure or not. So should you train to failure for strength? The answer, from a recent meta-analysis that was published April of 2016, they concluded that it is unnecessary to train to failure for strength gains. Both training to failure and not training to failure elicited similar results, but they had a small but significant favoring the non-failure training. Now they also cited in their study, in their conclusion, that due to safety concerns, you shouldn't train to failure. It's one thing when you're training to failure for leg extensions or leg curls. It's a completely different one when you're training for your bench press or your squat. Safety concerns must be taken into consideration when programming, especially programming to failure. Because remember, personal trainer, coaches, fitness and health people out there, rule number one of everything we do is to do no harm. Now, when this meta-analysis even controlled for volume, so looked at if they did the same volume training to failure or not, the results were still insignificant either way to which one being better to improve your overall strength, training to failure or not. So my top point, or my last point here, also looks at size or muscle hypertrophy and strength. The meta-analysis I talked about earlier only looked at muscle strength when training to failure versus not training to failure. So this study was published in December of 2015, looked at size and strength when training to failure. One interesting thing that I really liked about this article is that it looked at a different 1 rep max intensity. It looked at 30% of your 1 rep max and rather 80%. A lot of times in the fitness and health industry, we looked at what's the minimum dose response to increasing size and strength, and it's typically, anecdotally rather, been about 60% as a minimum for a minimum dose response. So what I really enjoyed about this one, as I said, is that it looked at 30%. And what they concluded is that similar gains in hypertrophy were found when training to failure when working with either 30% or 80% of your 1 rep max. Again, I'll link the studies down below and see if you come to the same conclusions that I did. If you did, fantastic. If not, comment below and we can definitely have a discussion about your findings versus mine. Regardless, hopefully you guys learned something today and you can add this into your repertoire of programming for yourself or your clients.